ever since I was in high school, my mom has always been that parent to be yelling from the stands.
Yeah.
And college hasn't changed that. Most of the time she's cheering me on. Most of the time she's giving me pointers. But there are a few times where she'll like yell, like I'm known for shooting deep 3-pointers. She'll just yell, "Scoot in!" And I'll be like, oh my gosh. Like, little do you know, this is where I practice shooting almost every day. So it's not like I'm just doing it off a whim.
Samara Spencer has been a constant for the Razorback women's basketball team for 3 seasons now.
Spencer down the lane to the rim, gets it to go.
No, literally. She set the program record for game minutes, games started, and games played in a single season at Arkansas.
Long three now by Spencer, goes down the drain.
And the deep 3-point shooter has a constant of her own, a supportive mom.
She just wanted me to be able to have my own experience, but for her to be there to guide me through it.
Despite arriving in a class packed with McDonald's All-Americans, Spencer was never one to be outshone, winning SEC Freshman of the Year right out of the gate.
It's honestly just a blessing to be named Freshman of the Year this year.
And she gives a lot of credit to one person who has helped her get it all done.
My mom helped me shine my light, and I wasn't dimmed by being behind other people.
Spencer's mom, a former basketball player herself who lives in Florida, rarely misses a game, and she always makes her presence known.
She's still the loudest voice in the room when we're playing. That's an advantage sometimes and a disadvantage because I know my mom's voice, and it's almost like she's the only voice that I can hear sometimes.
With her family cheering her on, Spencer has already eclipsed 1,000 points.
There's open, 3-pointer good. Samara Spencer.
And she still has an entire season left.
Samara Spencer, thank you so much for coming on the Hog Pod. I can't believe that we haven't had you on here before because you've been a staple of this Razorback women's basketball program for such a long time now. So thank you for sitting down with us today. We're going to start off at the beginning. I want to know about, growing up in Fort Lauderdale. What was it like in Florida?
Are we talking basketball-wise?
We'll start with the family stuff first.
Okay.
How about that?
Well, most of my family lives in Florida. I don't really have too much of immediate family that lives far. So just being surrounded by all of my family all the time, having that support system, being able to, go to different people for different things. And then over the years, my parents have gained friends and their friends have kids and they've become kind of like family to me. So just, it's very family oriented and I'm a very family oriented person and I love my family. So just be able to be down there because I grew up there my whole life. Like I was born there, raised there, lived there. So coming here was really my first time ever living outside of the state of Florida. So it was just, I would say, wholesome and fun to be able to build a community like that for all those years that I was there.
Big family, small family?
I would say not as big as most people that I know, but I feel like it is big just because of all the people that we do know.
How many siblings?
I have 3 siblings, all older. I'm the youngest.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Was it like growing up as the youngest one?
Honestly, I don't know because I'm 21. My sister is, I think she's 31 or 32. My eldest brother, he's I would say about 28, and my other brother is like 27. So I'm really the baby. Like there isn't anybody close in age to me. So just having, siblings, 2 come from my dad's side, 1 comes from my mom. And I lived in the household with the one on my mom's side, Devin. But I always kept in contact with my siblings. And then having an older sister, she's so supportive. Even though we didn't really grow up together and we're far in age, she was still someone who I could look up to.
Oh, that's great. Did she play basketball or anyone else in your family?
In high school she did, yeah, but she didn't go to college to play.
When you started playing basketball, was it different than if anyone else in your family played it? Like you took it seriously at a different level?
I would say kind of. My mom was actually shocked when I said that I wanted to play basketball. She thought I was going to be like a cheerleader or something. But because my mom played basketball, my daddy played basketball too, but he went to college for track. My mom went to college for basketball. So my mom was kind of like, whoa, like, you want to play basketball? Like, that's something that you want to do? And I was like, yeah. So at 7 years old, she put me in a Jewish league, and I played there for, I would say, about a good 3 or 4 years. And I met a lot of people there, found the right coaches, and then from there on, it was just history.
Yeah. So with your mom having played, did she ever try to be like, man, I got to tell you, college basketball is like a different level? Did she try to warn you about anything, or like the commitment that it takes?
She was more so encouraging, I think, because, she played, I don't want to age my mom, but she played a little bit
before.
Yeah, back then. So a lot of things had changed since she was in college, and she knew of that. So she was like, I don't want my experience to be your experience, and I know that now it's like different. So she just wanted me to be able to have my own experience, but for her to be there to guide me through it.
Well, so you went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School. You led them, or helped lead the team, to a state title your senior year. How would you summarize your career in high school?
Oh, man. What's so crazy is we won that first year, and they've won the past 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And they're on the verge of winning again this year. So we kind of started something.
I was about to say.
My first year that I got there, we went to the state championship game, but we lost. Actually, to Tampa Bay Tech, where Janiah Barker, who goes to Texas A&M, went. But we lost that year, and then the year after that, we lost in the regional final. So my senior year was kind of like, we know we're good. Like, we know we can get there. It's just a matter of winning. And for it to be the first state title for girls basketball in school history, St. Thomas is known for championships, football, all the other sports. So it was like, I think, the 126th championship that we brought to the school. But it was the first for girls basketball. So it was kind of memorable.
Oh, I bet, yeah. I mean, looking at some of your stats and all the accomplishments that you had in high school, I was like, you were no slouch by any means, but it seemed like at the same time you just didn't get the attention recruiting-wise that you probably deserved. What was that like for you going through that?
Honestly, I never really was the one like to be like, oh, I'm not getting recruited, like, oh, I don't have this next to my name or this next to my name, because the people around me knew what I was capable of and knew that I was good at basketball. And at the end of the day, I've always been the person to say, and my family has too, like, rankings and that type of stuff doesn't matter, because when you get to college, it's like it all just disappears. Like, you're not coming out and they're being like, oh, this girl's a 4-star, or this girl's a 5-star, or this girl's a McDonald's All-American. Like, when you get to college, those are just accolades. Like, that's what they are. They don't really help you or hinder you when you get here. So just being able to have that mindset, like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't, but I'm here doing something that most people who were in those positions aren't doing. It's just funny to me, I guess you could say.
Well, so just hearing you talk about that, I mean, seeing you now at Arkansas, like, I see the confidence out on the court, and I can see it now when you're even telling me about your high school. It just seems like nothing's ever really phased that part of you. Have you always just been very confident in your game and the way that you play?
I would say over the years it's built up. I will say that when I was younger, I think like a freshman in high school, I was on a team with a lot of good players, and they were the ones getting recruited. So it was kind of like a little diminishing, like, dang, like, we're all playing on the same team. We're all doing the same thing, but they're getting looked at and I'm not. But as the years went on, I kind of adjusted. My mom put me in different programs that, like, helped me shine my light, and I wasn't dimmed by being behind other people. She helped me, get out there, let people know that, hey, like, she is pretty good too. So I would just say a lot of my family, but mainly my mom, having that confidence in me, like, they're good too, but you are also, like, so just being able to not let what other people think of other people hinder you from thinking better of yourself.
I remember reading a quote from Nabes when he was talking about the first time he saw you. And I mean, he was very impressed. What was your interaction like with him before you ended up here?
So the first interaction that I can remember was I was in high school. I think it might have been my 11th grade year. We were playing at South Broward High, and he came to watch. And this was like kind of, was it the start of COVID? I think it might have been a little bit. No, actually, no. It wasn't because my senior year was COVID. But I knew for a while that he was coming to my game just because I had kept in contact with, like, the coaches. So it was kind of a little bit scary because I was like, oh, my gosh, like, a college coach is coming to watch me play. But, you know, he was there kind of like he wasn't there because I was doing what I normally do. But after the game, kind of, like, thanked him for coming because I don't know. I guess it's just special to have, like, a coach be so invested in you to come watch you play, like, take the time out of their busy schedule to come watch you play. That's how I knew, like, this was kind of the place I wanted to be because of the efforts that they put in to come to see me play.
So you said earlier you never lived outside of Florida. Had you been to Arkansas at all before you decided to come take a visit or anything?
No, I hadn't. Before I came to visit, I'd never been to Arkansas. I've been mostly up the East Coast, but never, like, Midwest. I've been to the West Coast, like, once or twice, but as far as the Midwest area, I've never really been this way before.
Any nerves on deciding to come this far from home or anything?
Not really, because I knew that I didn't want to be close to home for college.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I made it known, like, to my mom and my parents when I was getting recruited. I was like, you know, there are a lot of in-state schools that want me, but I don't want it to be easy for you to just drive up to come and see me. I mean, it still is easy for them to come and see me, but it takes a little bit longer for them to get here because they have to hop on a plane. But
wanted like a little bit of distance.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
They're not making that 18-hour drive. So,
oh, gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, I mean, we're going to talk about it. Your parents come to almost every single game, if not every single game. What's that support system like for you to know that you can count on them to always be in the stands?
Sometimes, well, for the most part, it's just enjoyable, and I'm thankful for it. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming because ever since I was in high school, my mom has always been that parent to be yelling from the stands, and college hasn't changed that. So she's still the loudest voice in the room when we're playing. That's an advantage sometimes and a disadvantage because I know my mom's voice and it's almost like she's the only voice that I can hear sometimes. So sometimes it's like, why are you being this way? Like, I'm in college. Yes, like, I'm in college. Why are you being this way? But just to be able to have them there all the time is a blessing.
I'm laughing at the fact that you can, like, literally single out her voice in the stands.
Always.
That's so funny.
Always.
Is she cheering you on from the stands, or is she giving you pointers, or is she being like, don't do that?
Most of the time she's cheering me on. Most of the time she's giving me pointers. But there are a few times where she'll, like, yell. Like, I'm known for shooting deep three-pointers. My coaches know I do. A lot of people know I do. She'll just yell, "Scoot in!" And I'll be like, oh, my gosh. Like, little do you know, this is where I practice shooting almost every day. So it's not like I'm just doing it off a whim. Like, I practice it and everybody knows that I shoot from out here. So, but yeah.
That is funny. Well, also, not to mention, Arkansas's played this year in Florida. I don't know. It seems like half a dozen times. Has your family, like your extended family, been able to watch you play?
Yeah. So we played in Fort Myers around Thanksgiving time. And I used to live in Fort Myers. I went to high school in Fort Myers for 1 year. But when I was younger, my travel team was based out of Fort Myers. So ever since I was younger, I have this group of friends. We all played together from like 4th grade to 9th grade. So those are like my closest friends. Their families came to watch, and then family from where I live in Fort Lauderdale came to watch too because the drive was only like an hour and a half. So there was a lot of people there for me in the stands. And then we played at Florida State. A few people came, but then when we played in West Palm Beach, that's only like 45 minutes away from my house. So a lot of people came to watch me then.
Well, we're going to circle back to the Florida State game in a little bit, but I want to talk about your freshman season because, I mean, you wasted zero time making an impact here at Arkansas. 20 games in double figures, 96 assists. Like, when you look back on that freshman year and all the awards that you won as well, How would you, like, what sticks out to you about that season?
Honestly, it was just the fact that I didn't come in with very much hype surrounded around my name because I came in with Miriam, I came in with Jersey, and then Sasha, that was her first year back playing for Arkansas in Fayetteville. So I wasn't really like the hype when people looked at Arkansas, but when I came here, I kind of got my feet wet and I kind of made a name for myself. People were like, whoa, like we didn't even know about her. So honestly, I would just say my mindset coming in was just do what you normally do and time will only tell.
Yeah. Well, you were the first Razorback since 2009 to win SEC Freshman of the Year. Looking back on that now, and even then, just, I mean, that's a huge thing to win. What was it like for you to earn that?
Honestly, I didn't expect it because there were a lot of great freshmen that were in my class, and it was a battle every week. Sometimes it was like I was doing good, but there was somebody doing better than me, and they got that Freshman of the Week award. But overall, I would just say it was just a testimony to what I had been doing, like in practice. And then when we got into SEC play, I had the confidence in my teammates behind me because I had proven in non-conference, like, okay, like she's kind of reliable. Like we can rely on her to help us win games. We can rely on her to help us score. So just being able to have that confidence from my coaches and my teammates when I was in the non-conference to translating it to conference, I would say they kind of helped me win that award. Just letting me be me and letting me do what I do.
Since that freshman year, it seemed like you really just, I mean, you just came in, set the tone. Was there any pressure for you the next year to be like, you know what, I got to at least maintain what I've been doing here at Arkansas?
For me, yes. The people here were like, you know, you've already proven what you can do. Like, you shouldn't feel like you have like that weight on your shoulders to try and prove anything else. But there's also what in basketball a lot of people call the sophomore slump. So when you have a great freshman year, you kind of go into a slump your sophomore year. So I was trying my very best to avoid that. And I would say that I did. There were a few games and a few times where it kind of like, I guess I could say I was up and down last year, but for the most part, I was up. So I'm just grateful to have had the confidence of other people letting me know, like, hey, you don't have anything to prove. Like, just be you and continue to play how you play.
Well, I think you've definitely grown over the years here, and I can see some of the improvements on the court this season. Just where do you think your game has really grown, though, since becoming a Razorback?
I would say my IQ, passing-wise. You know, I know where everybody is supposed to be on the court, and I think that that's my biggest advantage. Sometimes it can be a disadvantage because sometimes me and my teammates aren't on the same page. But overall, when we're all in sync and we're all on one accord, I would say that my IQ, knowing where everybody's supposed to be, knowing what everybody's supposed to be doing, is my biggest advantage.
When I look at your game, I mean, you really aren't a player who can be kind of pigeonholed at all. Like, you can shoot, you can block, you can steal, you've got the assists. How has Arkansas helped develop that part? Like every part of your game, how has the staff here helped you do that?
I would say that they've kind of morphed me into who I am. A lot of the times, Coach Todd Schaefer, he was kind of also somebody who recruited me. A lot of the times when we play opponents, he'll put me on the person who's the least threat because he knows, like, I can make those plays. I can help out where needed. So just being able to have people who are like we know your strengths, but we also know your weaknesses, but we're going to play to your strengths. So in order for our team to win, in order for me to help our team, they put me in the best positions to do that. And honestly, I just feel like they've morphed me into like somebody who can do everything. Like in high school, I would say I was an okay defender, but I wasn't as good as I am now. And I think that's just simply because I've been focused on it and because my coaches have helped me focus more on that.
And I mean, you talk about all the different parts to your game. Like, just the other day, I was watching you guys play, and you were getting double teamed. And then at one point, I swear I saw 3 girls on you. And I was like, I get it. They don't want her to shoot. Definitely not from the 3-point. And so when you aren't able to do that part of your game, it's got to give you some confidence to know that, like, you know what, I've got all these other levels and I can still contribute.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say when teams double or triple team me, that's kind of like a light going off in my head. Like, I know somebody's open and I know I can get them the ball. So to help them gain their confidence, I'm going to give them the ball and let them do what they do, because I know that I obviously can't do it right now because 2 or 3 people are on me. So just being able to give somebody else that confidence when I know I'm not able to, I think that that's the biggest thing that I try and do.
Yeah. And now, having been here for a couple of years, you're also taking on more roles as being kind of the veteran or one of the veterans on the team. What's it been like kind of taking over the role of being a mentor for some of the other girls?
Yeah, honestly, every day I walk into practice and I look around and I'm like, I'm a junior. Like,
right.
It's almost over. And seeing like the young girls, like, you know, sometimes they struggle, but they come ask questions. And honestly, I feel like when I was in that position, I had people like Michaela and Amber who were there to help me and guide me through that. And it's never really been in me to be that way, but I feel like since I've been here, my coaches have kind of made it a thing like, hey, like, people look up to you. Like, you can help people by what you say, and you can help them do better, and you can help them and motivate them by just being you. And so them kind of flipping that switch in my head, like, okay, like, people look up to you. Like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I think that they've helped me a lot in that area.
When you came in, who were the people that you looked up to?
Honestly, Mac and Amber, but mainly Mac, just simply because we played the same position. And before I got here, I honestly thought I was going to be playing behind her. Like, I didn't think I was going to be playing with her, with all the people that were coming in. But just being able to be alongside of her, and then at times being able to just learn from her, because she learned from somebody and now she's passing that down to me, and hopefully I get to pass that down to somebody else. It was good to have somebody who was like-minded and somebody like me to be able to help me get through that.
So you and Michaela have developed a real friendship over the years too. What's it been like getting to play with her over the years?
Honestly, it's been fun. Our relationship off the court has definitely grown more since I've been here. I would say the basketball is just a plus. Like, our friendship is the main thing that I cherish. And on the court, it's like, you can definitely tell, like, we're friends off the court. But I don't know. I could go on and on about her. But yesterday was kind of hard with her senior day and all. But honestly, I don't really know what I'm going to do without her next year. So I'm trying my best to cherish these moments now before she leaves.
Right. Because I was going to say, you know, senior day, I know she was emotional. I'm sure some of you were as well. I loved the decorating that you guys did of her locker. Was that your idea?
Yeah, Carly Johnson and we did that. Mac doesn't really like that type of stuff, but we do. And that's where the balance is in our friendship. She doesn't like to do those type of things, and we do. She's more of like a gift giver, not so much so decorating. But we didn't want to go too all out, but we wanted to do something special for her because she is a special person.
Oh, absolutely. And I loved the T-shirts. The T-shirts were a great idea. What did they say on them again?
It was kind of like an album cover.
Yeah.
Because she refers to herself as Mac Yonsei.
Love it.
So it was like an album cover of like all of her accomplishments. So all on the back was like kind of like how on like a CD cover, it's like the songs, the list of the stuff was like all the stuff that she's accomplished while she's been here. And then on the front was just like her picture. And
yeah. Does it feel like she's kind of handing anything down to you before she leaves or anything?
I would definitely say the reins, that leadership role. She's more so, a few years ago, Mac was never a verbal leader. She was kind of like a lead by example person, but over the past few years, as Amber's left and those people have left, she's kind of had to step into that verbal leader role, which is a little bit uncomfortable for her. But I would say that that's something that I'll have to take on. And I'm a verbal person, but sometimes it's not always positive because I'm a competitor. And so that can take over. So just being able to learn from her, like, hey, like, everything doesn't always have to be so rah, rah, rah. Like, you can communicate with these people in this way and it be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the T-shirts that were for Mac on senior day, like, whose idea was that?
I think it was Coach Lacey Goldwire's idea and Coach Pauline Love. They know Mac doesn't really like that type of stuff, but it was her senior day and they wanted to do something that they know she couldn't say no to, which is why they kept it a secret with her until the day of the game. But yeah, she doesn't like that type of stuff. So it was kind of like a joke to everybody, but they're really good in that aspect of finding things that each of us like either are uncomfortable with or like a lot and turning it into something that, you know, we can look back and be like, I'm glad that they did that for me. And I know that Mac is definitely glad that they did that for her.
I was about to say, I saw the video of when you guys like pulled them out for her. Was she like a little embarrassed when she saw it?
She kind of whispered under her breath and was like, I don't think I had the reaction I was supposed to have. And I was like, well, I mean, it was kind of uncomfortable for you, but that's okay. Like,
but it's really, it's cool that you guys do stuff like that for each other, because I know that there's a lot of team bonding that really everyone on campus does. But for you guys, it seems like there's always something special every season that you guys kind of like latch onto, and it's almost like the reason. Who's the person who comes up with that stuff? Like, is it really just a team effort to bring everyone together?
Honestly, I think it's Coach Lacey's idea most of the time, and then she'll kind of bring it to us and be like, what do you guys think about this? Like, she in that way, she's the best, because she's kind of like a gift giver and she wants to like please everybody. We do these things called Enneagrams, and she was the one to do that for us. And hers is a 2, which is like, she just wants people to be happy. And so through like T-shirts and all these different things that we do, she like expresses like her gratitude and love for us. And I could say that since I've been here, I have about 100 shirts that we've gotten just because, you know, they have an idea and it's like, oh, like, let's put this on a shirt and here, have this as a warm up, or just have this as a shirt. So honestly, I'm grateful for Coach Lacey in that way, just because it shows that she cares about us more than just a coach. Like, she cares about our lives outside of basketball.
What's your Enneagram, or however you say it? I don't know how to say it.
I'm an 8.
You're an 8, okay.
And that is a challenger, which is somebody who's like fierce and blunt and doesn't take no for an answer. And we have a few 8s and we all butt heads, but we have a lot of different numbers throughout our team. So it all just balances out really well.
I love that. I want to talk about a couple of big games that you've had so far this season. When I was prepping for this interview, I was like, well, so we've got to talk about the Alabama game, because the first Alabama game, you put on an absolute clinic. I think it was 31 points, 14 rebounds, so you had the double-double. What do you remember about that game?
I remember Talia was out. Mac had been sick, so we didn't really know if she was going to be able to play or not. She traveled with us, but we didn't know how much she was going to be able to go when we played. And honestly, I just remembered, like, we always play good at Bama, and I didn't want that to stop there. So I did everything in my power to help my team win. That was kind of the first game where I shot that many shots, and I went to my mom after the game, and I'm like, I shot 29 shots. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And she was like, well, it's what you had to do to help your team win, because if you didn't do that, you guys wouldn't have won. So just being able to know, like, you know, sometimes it is okay to do that when you're trying to help your team win a game.
So your mom was in the stands for that one too, cheering you on?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, she got a great game in that one. The other game that I wanted to talk about was when you hit 1,000 career points in your home state. What was it like to do that?
Honestly, I had been trying to hit 1,000 since the first time we went to Florida when we played in Fort Myers. I was close then. I didn't really play too well down there. And then in the Florida State game, I knew I was close, but, you know, it was like a ranked opponent that we were playing. It was the ACC SEC Challenge, which was like the first year for it ever. So it was kind of just like, you know, we're just trying to win a game against a ranked opponent here. And then when it happened, I guess on the bench, from what I know, a lot of my teammates were kind of like, oh my gosh, she's close, she's close, she's close. Like, and then every shot that I was taking that wasn't going in, they were like, oh, she's never gonna get it. And then the one shot that I took, which was like, I think the shot clock was running down or something, was my 1,000 point. Honestly, it was just special. Yeah, to be surrounded by my family and be able to hit that in my home state, that's something I can look back and be like, in my home state, I scored 1,000 points. Not very many people get to score 1,000 points, let alone do it in their home states.
And not to mention you did it quickly in a very short amount of time here at Arkansas. I mean, were the coaches surprised, or were you surprised by how fast you got to 1,000 points?
Honestly, I was kind of surprised, but then again, I wasn't, because, you know, ever since my freshman year, I've been starting and I've been scoring. So it was kind of like eventually it was going to happen. It was just a matter of how long it was going to take. And not very many people get to say they were a 1,000 point scorer in college. So I'm just grateful that I was able to do it here in 3 years.
We going for 2,000 now?
We'll try.
We'll try. Okay.
We'll try.
I was about to say, so I mean, you've accomplished so much in your time at Arkansas. Just what's next for you?
Honestly, I want to get into the world of coaching. I feel like being a point guard, you're kind of like a coach on the court, especially to your teammates. And so I feel like that can translate to coaching outside of basketball. A lot of people say that I have a future in broadcasting just because of interviews that I do and how well-spoken I am. That may be something, but right now, I don't know too much. Just going with the flow.
Well, you still got more to play here as a Razorback. Is there anything that you're like really trying to check off the list of things you want to do here?
Honestly, we've had winning seasons, but not as best as we know we can. I want to say that before I leave, I want us to have a winning season that, you know, we're all happy with, fans included, because sometimes the winning seasons that we think are good aren't winning enough for them. So just being able to have a winning season that everybody in the whole state of Arkansas and Razorback Nation can be proud of.